And we are live. Okay. As you can see, this is my very first time using StreamYard, so bit of an experiment here, but I thought I would do this to help add people into the conversation. Hopefully, we can get people involved in chatting and the comments and all that. So let's see now. Um, I'll see here now. I'll put it in the comment section. How is this working? Let's see how people are getting on. This is going to be a bit of getting used to, I would say. We got, to figure out where everything goes, uh, engaging with people. And what I was thinking of doing was the reason I use StreamYard now is purely so down the line I can get other people involved in the videos and talk to them, create conversations with people in the Bond world, if you will. Also, Steve Matson, who likes to watch these, he suggested that, and I thought it was a really good idea too. It's kind of what I've had in the back of my head for a while now. Let me just check the audio here. How's everything doing? Yeah, seems to be sounding okay. So camera audio. Perfect. Now let's start to cracking into this. Obviously, it's daylight savings time here, so I had scheduled this for 1 o'clock, but because of the time change, things moved around on me, so it shifted it to 2 o'clock. So I've actually pushed it back now to 1:15 was the kickoff time. So that's what happened there. Hope everyone also watch the Omega video. Just did the quick set change there. People are really liking that Omega video I did. If anyone in the kind of Ireland area has one of the Bond watches, give me a shout. I'd love to make a video on one of the other Bond watches. It'd be really good to see exactly how people react to another Bond watch video. I'd love to get up close and kind of personal and do something on it. So let me know if anyone watching has a Bond watch. The intro just to today's video is it's a catch up on everything. I'll just start by telling people who are new the format. I go through sort of background on the channel, then I get into a topic, and then I kind of wind things up with open questions. The today's topic, if you will, is a catch up. As you know, I was away for the last week, and so I'm just going to catch up on some of the things that happened in the Bond world and any sort of videos or polls that I ran, and just chatting about the results of them. Let's see. So today will only be a brief stream, but I like to keep them weekly when I can. As I was saying, I'm just starting to use StreamYard now because the aim would be down the line, you could get people involved in these and have conversations versus me just chatting to myself and being crazy. I can see people are live streaming into this or tuning into it. So it's always good to know that you're not nuts and talking to yourself. I definitely need to look more into StreamYard and how it works. This is my first time, so today will be a learning experience. But hopefully it goes well, and maybe we might even upgrade to the subscription if it's going really well for people. So throw in your questions as we're going along. The whole point of the streams is to get people involved and chat. So let me know what you're thinking. Let's switch it into YouTube Studio, see how people are getting on there. So yeah, brilliant. Okay. Now, what's been going on since I left? There's been a gap in the streams. Let's go through everything that's happened in Bond and obviously the channel and the community. What's been happening with Bond? The Bond world has been quiet. It seems like there's not really any Bond news happening at the moment in terms of Bond 26 and what's coming down the line. Um, the there was that Barbara Broccoli thing where she said they hadn't started on script or hadn't started casting. That was interesting, and it's sort of like it's funny. The void of information actually leads to more tabloid speculation than anything else. It's and when there's lots of proper talk going on, it leads to less speculation with the movie. Almost, it's like everyone's just chatting about what's coming out and maybe making one leap. But when there's loads of stuff happening, or when there's nothing happening, tabloids just start making up absolute crap. Thomas Carroll, no relation of mine, I don't think. Yeah, that would be probably true at this stage. They're gonna skip Bond 26 and go straight to Bond 27. She's like, they might as well. Like, it is. I don't want to say it's ridiculous, but you just think that they should develop a plan for making these films more consistently. Obviously, part of the charm of Bond is when these movies come out, they're huge events. So you want to strike up a balance of them being special, but also like a consistent output. Because what I would say is a worry of the Craig era for me was they didn't strike a consistent rapport with new fandom. So people sort of fell out of it. They're like, oh, that's cool. And then got into it. Like, I don't think now I'm my age, I don't think there's a lot of super big Bond fans. It's a bit weird. Thanks for commenting, Thomas. That gave me a good laugh. So there's not really any Bond 26 progress, which just adds to that speculation, the tabloids, unfortunately. So let's move on to more of this channel's community and how everyone's getting on. I held a poll on the special edition watches, and I was really, I actually was quite surprised by the results. These were the special edition watches of the Craig era. I sort of curated what ones I wanted inside the poll because I wanted to capture sort of a wide variability of the Craig watches versus going, oh, the special edition Planet Ocean for Casino, Quantum, and Skyfall. So the list was the Planet Ocean and Casino Royale, that special edition one. The Aquaterra, the special edition with the Bond family crest on it from Spectre, that was made for Spectre. The Seamaster 300, which was the bomb watch in Spectre 2. And then the No Time to Die watch, the Diver 300. So of those watches, I thought captured a good view of that whole Craig era and what he was wearing. And the results were interesting, I thought. At the very bottom was the Casino Planet Ocean on the rubber strap. We're talking 12% of the votes. And then the Aquaterra at 15. The second favorite was the Seamaster 300. And then 44% of the vote was the most recent Bond watch, which is the No Time to Die Diver 300. Yeah, like I left out some of them. Like I left out the Casino Royale Diver 300, that blue one, which is very much like the Brosnan. I left out the Planet Ocean from Quantum of Solace, and I left out the Skyfall Planet Ocean 2, which is that bad boy. I have the larger version until they sized it down. The results are not actually that surprising when you look at the No Time to Die watch. It seems like the No Time to Die watch is very unique. It's made of titanium. It has a super lightweight feel. On top of that as well, you also have this brilliant strap that like was completely new to the Bond watches and Omega watches, I believe, in general, up until that. And you've got the British military insignia at the bottom of it, so it's owned by Her Majesty's government or His Majesty's government. And there's a lot of different things. That kind of brown old color is really really cool. So the No Time to Die watch is it was surprising to me, but it's a real watch person's watch, and it's very simple and efficient. It's a diver. It has no date on it. Things like that. It's just it's I think it's actually grown on me. When I first saw it, I didn't love it, but I love it again. Nathan, welcome to the chat. The Spectre watch is my favorite. I actually think the two special edition Spectre watches are beautiful. I have worn, when they first released, the Aquaterra one with the Bond family crest. I think it's a really cool way that they incorporated Bond into a special edition watch without writing the 007 logo all over it. I know there's a tiny 007 at the bottom where it says the depth, but the Bond family crest is sort of a cool invisible way of incorporating Bond into that, because most people don't know what the Bond family crest and the coat of arms means. So I really like that Aquaterra. It's also anti-magnetic too. I think that's when they started doing the anti-magnetic watches. So love that. Now I think Nathan is talking about the Spectre 300, the black one, which I think is so cool, and I really like it. It has like a series of homages to old Bond. It's obviously a black diver, so it kind of looks back on that Rolex era from the 1960s, but then also has that NATO strap, which is another homage, and I just think that watch is beautiful. But then to separate it from the rest of Bond's watches, it has a GMT bezel for telling the time in different time zones, which is not something Bond usually uses, but it's like it actually is really cool and a great idea for Bond, because it's simultaneously a diver but facilitates his world traveling aspect. Nathan, I'd be on that buzz too if that's the one you're talking about. I think it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I looked into it. There's some. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think when they first sold, they were around 6, but then they've just rocketed up in price. They only made 7,007 of them, they claim. So, they've gotten very, very popular in that time. I think, it's a tough one. It's obviously the box and papers are a huge thing because it comes in a beautiful box, so you really want the whole thing. Oh, were they only 450? Yeah, you see, pounds. The pound was a lot stronger back then, so it was cheaper relative to the euro. So let's see. And then Thomas is saying the GoldenEye Seamaster is the watch for him. I agree. I think the GoldenEye Seamaster is a classic. I think everyone loves it and can't really go wrong with it. I personally think then you move on to the Tomorrow Never Dies version, which is an automatic movement. The GoldenEye one is a quartz or a battery powered movement. So once you get into the automatic, it's really cool in terms of the style of it all. In terms, the function of it when it gets to Tomorrow Never Dies. Having that automatic movement just separates the whole thing. Thomas, you might want to look into the the 60th anniversary one. It kind of plays homage with not all of them. Plays homage with GoldenEye all the way up to No Time to Die. So it's got that bluish color. It's a 300. It has 60th on the top of the dial, or on the top of the bezel, and then it has the strap from No Time to Die. So it sort of perfectly encapsulates all different aspects. It's got the lollipop seconds hand, which was kind of taken from the watch that Nathan loves. So it really is brilliant in how it tries to play homage to 1995 all the way to today. Yeah, but there's a lot of Bond watches, and Omega's really made the most of that relationship. Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, check it out. You'll like the look of it. Whether whether your wallet will love it, I don't know. So that those are the results of the poll. People like the No Time to Die the best, but I think the super fans, whether it's Thomas liking the GoldenEye one or Nathan and I liking the Spectre ones, yeah, they're the ones for us. So the moving on from that. Also, yeah, I'd say you've noticed I'm standing again today. I think standing works better. I might be a bit more active, bit more active, more able to talk. Obviously, standing, drinking coffee too. It's always good. Uh, Keeps the blood flowing and active conversations. So while the results came in on the Bond watches, I was away. I went and traveled to Egypt, and I am tinkering away on that video. I released the trailer because I wanted everyone to see what's coming. It was quite an adventure. It's definitely not a normal place in terms of everyone knows the pyramids, but I don't think a lot of people I know have actually been there. So I put that video together very quickly just to give you guys a taste of what's coming, but it'll probably be a month before I get it done and dusted. I just want to make sure the travel videos take a lot of work. As I say in my other streams, I kind of go over there with an idea of what I want to do. I write it out. Things change, things look better when you're there, things look worse. So you shoot it, and then you come back, you start assembling it, and then you sort of rewrite the narrative after that. So, uh, yeah, Nathan. Hopefully now it'll all come together nicely. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys and seeing how everything gets on. Looking back on the information, seems like Palm Springs is doing quite well. San Francisco is doing well. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how everything sits together in the end. In terms of will it feature Jaws? Maybe. Didn't come across any 7 foot tall people while in Egypt actually, but have to talk about Jaws. uh, so yeah, that Egypt one's an exciting one coming down the pipeline. I hope you all enjoy it, and you will come out. In addition to that, the Sanders video, I'm putting that one together. It's in the next week or two. I released a 1 minute preview of that as well, giving you guys kind of the bullet points and the qualities of the shoes. But obviously, I'll do a more in-depth in the field review, a day usage of the shoes, just how do they fit me, what do they like to wear around, that sort of thing. In terms of like suede Bond shoes, they seem to be at a better price point than most, so hopefully people are going to be really into that. Now, so what else we got? Yeah, the Sanders video is going to be more of a vloggy style as well. So hopefully that sort of casual style is something you're into. It's actually, I find it tougher to make the vloggy videos than the regular ones where I'm very kind of engineered and thought through. I think the vloggy ones are just, yeah, you have to spend more time pulling it all together in the end. Did I ever buy into the Mandela effect? Uh, See, I kind of watched Moonraker very consistently, so I always knew that. But it's so funny, like yeah, I don't blame people for thinking about it. It's almost a better joke than what ended up in the movie. So you can see why people kind of leap to that conclusion. Um, so the Sanders video will be coming soon. I know you guys. There's a mix of kind of Bond clothing, and so the Bond clothing videos do very well. Uh, the what you call it, these travel ones actually don't do well, but I just like making them, so you're going to get more of those. Thomas, let me know. Did you ever buy into the Mandela effect with the braces? So yeah, the final video I'm working on at the moment is actually a new intro for the channel. I'm sure if you look back on it, you'll get a good laugh. It's nearly 3 years now, and I need a new one. I've decided that the channel needs has found its direction and its footing in what it is. So it would be silly to keep that old one up. The channel was always a Bond channel, but I thought at the time I would chat more about kind of things, whether it's tennis or different films coming out. The live streams is probably the medium to do that. If people are interested in, my opinion on John Wick 4, which I saw last night, that's where you do it. I think in terms of what I'm really happy making are Bond videos. And then anything extra, is kind of, it all falls in the Venn diagram of Bond interest. So I'm putting together a kind of 2-minute new intro for the channel just so people aren't met with the very old, less video confident Alan. Was John Wick 4 good? Yeah, like it was exactly what it said in the tin. It didn't really sell you on any sort of ideology outside of the movie. It just was John Wick doing what he does, shoot someone in the gut before he shoots them in the head, big body count. The the aesthetic of a John Wick film has always been very nice. It's what sets it apart from your other action series. They the John Wick movies, even the first one, like it definitely had a visual style and visual flair. The saturated colors, the deep darks, the nightlife scenes, and then obviously it has that kind of myth- mythological background to all the assassins and stuff. So yeah, I think it does exactly what a John Wick film does, and I think you would not ask for your money back afterwards. I went to see it with my brother and a mate, and yeah, we enjoyed it, and yeah, some great stuff in there. Uh, Keanu Reeves always impresses me with how much work he puts into those action scenes. I just obviously there's a bit of like CG slash editing magic, but you can very much see that they make a big effort to do a lot of oneers where they are showing Keanu doing the fight scenes and shooting people. He This is not a spoiler, he does this like fantastic quick reload when he's with a pistol where he kind of clicks it out and then and it's just someone that's been practicing over and over again. It looks very professional. uh what else with Keanu in that film? Yeah, like I saw one trailer, but I really went into it not knowing a lot about this film. I liked one and two, three wasn't for me, but yes, good. Like it is way too long. It's 2 hours and 48 minutes, and if No Time to Die is pushing it at that length, John Wick 3 or John Wick 4 is definitely too long. But yeah, recommend it, and can't beat it. It's a good way to kick off an evening with the lads. So yeah, that's perfect example of how I think talking about other stuff outside of Bond would be done on the series first in the streams, not making full on videos. The final poll I did actually this week was the audience reactions to the US locations. This one had really good engagement. I was surprised how many people voted. Um, so the audience reactions to the locations the list was San Fran, Stacey Sutton's house, Palm Springs, and Las Vegas. And the results are as follows: San Fran 30%, Stacey Sutton's house 13, Palm Springs 17, and 39% to Las Vegas. Uh, the results were interesting. I think like Stacey Sutton's house is somewhere I'd love to get into next time. I need to figure that one out. Um, Palm Springs really, really was a nice break before we went to Las Vegas, which was all out. San Fran, yeah, like San Fran's really cool. It's obviously got like some issues, but like I think it's really, really like just pottering around there, going on adventures. And then we kind of got a few of the Bond locations, whether it was like Fisherman's Wharf, getting out to the viewpoint to see the Golden Gate Bridge, and finally, the City Hall. Obviously, we got to talk about, uh, we got to see talk about the the Rock and visit Alcatraz, which was a nice bonus thing for the channel. And that's what I mean by like, the vloggy style as well. I kind of was just shooting stuff when I went out there and knew the Bond fans would be interested because of Connery. What's Lorenzo saying here? It's very interesting. You got all action movies, gave people exciting action movies to the public. I think James Bond needs to go back to that. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Craig's films mixed it up a little. I hope we get something new, like different, like the difference between GoldenEye versus License to Kill. Yeah, Thomas, I don't know. Like I'm a bit mixed on this GoldenEye thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad score. I think the idea of the music having the timps, the drums being the Bond theme is interesting, but it's not quite executed right. I love David Arnold's music. I would love David Arnold to come back. Just, yeah, new is good and experiment is good. Sometimes you're just worried about change, and I don't know if the change is going to be good. Like that was a risk in GoldenEye. It didn't work for me. I would love to see David Arnold rescore of GoldenEye, but I think it would be semi-controversial for Eon to backtrack and say that's what they wanted to do. So to kind of go back to those results of the trip, the sacrilege GoldenEye score is legit. Yeah, I'll get to that in a sec. The result of the poll, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. Stacey Sutton's house took me back. Palm Springs took me back, but San Fran was not surprising. And then Vegas, people are like, yeah, Vegas, give it thumbs up. I feel Vegas has more stuff with Bond fans outside of it, and Circus, and then some other things. So I might have to explore that in the future, but we'll see. I'm not certain. We'll try and figure that one out. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't. Vegas is just weird. It's like it takes you. So to get to the GoldenEye score, because Thomas is leaning into this, I don't know. Yeah, it's a very esoteric kind of Bond position to like that score. I think, Thomas, if you love it, fucking then GoldenEye must be the best Bond film ever for you, or at least up there. Yeah, I suppose it's very 95, and they really wanted to reinvent Bond, so they were reinventing a lot of things. They're like, how do we do a 1995 James Bond movie? So it's very much a James Bond film in its feel and its storytelling, but its style is really, really new. Even the way they shoot it, like Campbell makes a real effort to, step up the aesthetic in cinematography. Yeah, sorry to disagree with you about the GoldenEye score. I think, yeah, like actually, just while there's more people on this, I was saying that if anyone is in Ireland and has a Bond Omega watch, I would love to shoot a video with a Bond Omega again. My My video seems to be doing very well. People really like it. A lot of engagement, lots of comments. So I'd love to just make another Bond Omega video. I kind of have two ideas. So if anyone has the Brosnan era watch, that would be really cool. Or if anyone has any other ones, I just want to sit down and chat about it. Would be very, very happy to do that. What do you think of Barry Aha combination, The Living Daylights? I think the Barry Aha combination is amazing. I think it's like they didn't get on well. There was so much friction, and it created something amazing. The Living Daylights, good song. I think John Barry does this brilliant thing of creating a sound that reflects the theme song, and I would like to see more of that in a Bond movie. They did it a couple of times in No Time to Die, and it was really, really effective. And I'd love to see that happen again. What the problem is nowadays, they are not collaborating with the songwriters and the composer early enough in the process. So you don't get the sound coming into the film like you did in the Barry era. The kind of exception to that is Arnold does it in Casino Royale. He wrote "You Know My Name" with Chris Cornell on it, and then by the time Quantum happens, he wrote another song that he was going to do with Shirley Bassey, and then they're like, "No, Jack White and Alicia Keys." So that sound isn't really in the whole film a lot. But if you listen to the other song on YouTube, you can hear that throughout the whole Quantum. Nathan has the original bronze. See, but I'm a little far away to lend it to you. Yeah, Nathan, that'd be a problem. Do you know what is funny though? I see a lot of them. Like they're such a popular watch. Just people in Ireland. If someone is wearing an ice watch, a lot of the time it's either a not to be trash and Rolex, but a very boring day date Rolex. And then you see the Omega 300 a lot. So obviously there was just that trend in the 2000s and the 90s. That was the cool thing to buy. So I don't think it would be tough to get my hands on one. We'll see now. I'll look into it. Yeah, the Bond theme during the prologue is good with the synth. That's what? Oh yeah. I love actually the experimenting with the synth that Barry does in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Can't fucking beat it. Like Nathan, the watch thing is nuts. I bought it. Nathan says he bought it new in 2005 for £1,200 sterling. What are they? They're probably over £5,000 now. Like I don't know what's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. They just printed a load of fucking money and expected nothing to happen. Kind of got off the Bond subject there. So Nathan, that's nice. And I'd say if you went on to Chrono 24, you'd see a nice ROI in that. Also, I would be curious. Yeah, Nathan, does your one have Seamaster written in red or in white on the dial? Just curious about that. I love I'm just trying to figure out what era Seamaster it is, but there. I think that's the best. They move on, and then at some point they switch the date to the 6 o'clock, and to get really into it, a bit too much into it. I don't like the date on the 6 o'clock on an Omega. I don't know. So yeah, I would be all in on seeing that. That's really, really cool. Thomas saying a John Williams Bond score would be so cool. I think John Williams should have done Never Say Never. That is my take. I think they missed a trick there big time. That is it. I think Never Say Never score is such a fucking mistake. Couldn't even tell you or hum a single melody from it. And in fact, Rich Douglas, who sometimes I use his music for my videos, has a really, really cool alternate score for it. So yeah, check out Rich's work. Highly recommend it. If you go into any of my travel videos of the last while, I always link his work. Check it out on Apple Music or Spotify. That's where he likes you to find him. Nice. All white text. I think the 60th anniversary one has gone back for the all white text as well. So by the time Craig comes along, he has that watch, and they just slightly updated that model, the 2005 one, to have the Seamaster written in red. So yeah, the Craig one is it's like a holdover from Lindy Hemming. She was the costume designer for that Brosnan era. So things like the Brioni suits, but he is also wearing, by the time he gets to the casino, the Brosnan watch, or that sort of same model, just updated one. So yeah, and then I think Craig really wanted the Planet Ocean, so that's why he has it in the start of the film. However, I think the Lindy Craig relationship wasn't Craig just wanted to take it a different direction in terms of style. Hemming had like a very classic cut to the suits, even Craig's suits in a casino, very classically cut, and Craig just wanted them way more fitted. So Quantum, you get Tom Ford coming in, and they're probably cut nearly perfectly in Quantum. Then they go a bit too small in Skyfall, and then I think they come back by the time No Time to Die rocks around. I think they're looking just about right. James Horner should score Bond 27. Yeah, James Horner's good. Good. I'm just trying to. What scores of James Horner now are you thinking of? Like, I've just drawn an absolute blank here. I had my phone on flight mode, so I couldn't be disturbed. But let's get this up. Horner. James Horner music. Yeah. Oh yeah, the fucking. Would you get Campbell to come back and direct it, and then have him score? That would be pretty cool. There's another score that I love that belongs to Horner. Where is it? Obviously, the Braveheart score is amazing, so I'd be into that. Yeah, James Horner. But there's so many good composers. I just want Arnold to come back because I'm selfish, and I like Arnold and I like his work, and I think he's a bit of a James Barry or John Barry for the modern day. So what have we got here? Yeah, besides the music and the watch chat, I think that's really it now. We're gonna start. Yeah, because they love the brass in Bond films. Yeah, I thought it was the Bond girls that only had those types of names anyway. So it's time to wind down. Throw in any final questions, suggestions, or whatever. I love engaging with you guys on those. Really got some good chats in relation to watches and music. I'm sure Thomas will keep throwing in inappropriate composer names. And where else? Yeah, so the poll results were interesting. Fuck me. But why did I have him down as Avatar? Oh, it's the first Avatar. Yeah, that's correct. Fuck. Yeah. Next, you're going to be saying John Barry should come back, which apparently was a thing. Geez, he was only 61, James Horner. But apparently that was a thing that John Barry was going to come back and do Tomorrow Never Dies, but it fell apart in negotiations. So it's kind of interesting because John Barry came back, you probably would never have gotten that David Arnold thing. So ups and downs. Holy shit, I just realized that you can present your screen here on StreamYard. God, I'm such a StreamYard rookie. I'm going to have to really get familiar with this, because if I can present my screen, I can do so much stuff with these streams versus just chatting to the camera. Also, Thomas, like, saying lol at the end of that sentence is so bad. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming on today. Got a load of people on the chat. It was really good to have the back and forth. I love when, these streams get derailed by conversation. I think it's the best way to do it. The time flies by. Please throw in your suggestions for future content, live stream talks, whatever, videos. This streaming is all about getting people involved in the channel, having the back and forth going. I'm going to be presenting things now that I know there's a present button, and just making this channel about sort of the community that's developing around it, the consistent people that always show up. Nathan, Thomas, throw in anything you have to say there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Not sure how the world. Well, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to, now that I know I can do it, present pictures and stuff during the chats, and that's really going to do it. Now, if Thomas and you derail the conversation, I won't have photos ready, but it should work. No, I'll be able to figure it out. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Next week I'll have a topic. I'll probably announce it Tuesday or Wednesday evening, and then we'll get the ball rolling on a conversation with photographs. Time to go about my Sunday, especially with the lack of 1 hour now in the day. It's all going to fall apart very quickly. Thomas, Nathan, everyone who is commenting, thanks very much. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.